Looking for business starting tips? Look no further. We're going to turn things inside out and tell you what you should really focus on when starting a business, not what the masses tell you. So at the end of this video, we'll teach you why the dessert first method is the best way to start. And let's be real, who doesn't want dessert first?
Hi, I'm Deidre Harder, a CPA and business strategy coach. And this is my partner, Carmen Reed Gilkison, a certified whole person coach. We started our business, Encore Empire, to help women in midlife build a profitable online business in a way that leverages their life experience and honors their values to provide financial and time freedom that they have worked so long and so hard to attain. And today, we're going to cover these 3 points. Number 1, why standard business startup recommendations are wrong. Number 2, why profit before prep is the way to go. And number 3, how to use the dessert first method.
That's right. So, point number 1. Why standard recommendations are wrong. So when you begin exploring the idea of setting up an online business, most of the business starting tips that you find for free on business blogs and even in most paid educational programs will give you a long list of do this first, right? And most of the lists include deciding on a business name and tagline, forming a business entity, opening a business checking account, and establishing a line of credit. Choose your brand colors and logos, setting up your website, setting up complicated sales funnels, writing blog posts, getting professional photos done, building out your entire course, or setting up your service sales page, or filling your e-commerce store with products, and the list goes on and on. So what is wrong with those business starting tips? Well, they're a waste of time because they're the wrong focus and they're in the wrong order. So colors and logo do not a business make. And, when we think about starting our business, when you're brand new and you want to start your business, it is so exciting to think about those fun things, colors and logo and all that. And that just leads you down that list that we just read, right? But setting up your business entity even doesn't mean you have a business. You don't have a business until you're making sales. So Deidre is going to explain in tip number 2 how to do that.
Tip number 2 is profit before prep. Now, I'm going to share with you what I've learned about building a business that is profitable. And this is what people aren't talking about. A lot of people will tell you how to start a business, but unless it's profitable, well, really, what's the point? So here's the truth. You'll waste time and money setting up all these things initially if you've not yet validated your business idea and your plan, and you have a proven business strategy for sales and marketing. Now, you can start your business without any of those legal and financial things we talked about in point number 1. Now, yes, you will need to do those things once you're established and you're making money. But until you get to that point, you can simply use what you already have. That's your name, your social security number, your bank account, and that's all you really need to start up with. Now, the first order of business is to get the business to pay for itself as soon as possible. So, how do you do that when you're starting out? Well, it's through values and validation. And we teach a process known as the inside out approach. Now, most people look outside of themselves for a business idea. They also look outside of themselves for a sales strategy and a marketing strategy. And those are what seem to be working for others. And so you think, well, gosh, if they're working for other people, they should work for me, right? However, they may not fit you exactly right, and they may not feel aligned with your values and with your business personality. So by starting with values, you have the opportunity to find the thing that lights you up and do it in a way that lights you up. And that's what's going to make it sustainable and profitable. Now, let's talk a little bit about validation. Validation includes 4 key steps. The first step is learning how to identify the ideas that will be the best fit for you and for the people you most want to help with your product, your service, or your courses or your coaching. Step number 2 is understanding who your ideal client is. And this is going to help you attract them through your marketing. Step number 4 is ensuring you understand your ideal client's pain points so you can develop solutions that mean the most to them. And step number 4 is researching others in a similar business and finding the gap that you can fill which sets you apart from the crowd. Now, you may have heard of these things. A lot of people talk about these different steps. However, there's a different way to do it, and most are teaching a very surface level way to do this. But honestly, you've got to dig a whole lot deeper, and there's a lot more to it than you think that there is. And unfortunately, pouring time, effort, and money into a hunch or into a partially validated idea leads to failure every single time. And the ultimate validation is getting in your first few sales. That is when you know you will have a profitable business foundation to build upon.
That's right. And so point number 3, this is what we're waiting for, the dessert first method. Okay, dessert first is awesome because dessert is the most fun part, right? So by following our method, you get to know right away what your market wants because you've validated and you've made the sales. We call this dessert first because you get immediate satisfaction. You get the satisfaction of making money right away. You get the satisfaction that the people want what you have because by them giving you money for what you have, it explains and lets you know unequivocally that your product or service is what your market wants. And you didn't have to jump through all those hoops that don't give you anything tangible. So let's think about it. When we listed out all the things that typical blogs and the masses tend to talk about, there was a long list of things to do there, like setting up your business entity, bank account, all the stuff. So that takes time, it takes energy, and it's the complete wrong focus. So you do all that, and then you have an idea and you bring it to market and you haven't validated it and it doesn't sell. Then what? Then not only do you not have a business, but you're depressed at the same time. So we want to avoid that. Once you have validated your business idea, you are ready to roll. That's when you're able to go back and say, okay, people want this. I know the type of people who want this. I know my market. And now I can set up my business because it's a valid business. It's a viable business. So based on the research that we teach you to do in our Inside Out method and the Dessert First method, you'll never wonder again if your next offer will be successful. So this works for when you're starting a business and you have an idea for your very first business, but it also works if you are an existing business owner and you're going to create your next offer, right? So a lot of people put together courses and programs and then they launch them because they think this is the best thing. I hear people saying they want this. And this is what Deidre mentioned before, where a lot of people teach the surface level. And so if someone's thinking, well, I heard my clients or my market say that they want ABC, so I'm going to create a course that is ABC. But just because you heard a conversation or a one-off comment or even a couple of comments, that's not research and that's not how you figure it out. You've got to dive deep. Not only do you dive deep into knowing who you are with your values, but you also need to dive deep into your client research, and we teach you how to do that. So we know that you'll be able to set up your business and know that it's viable after you've made the sale. And it's because you've gone through the process of reconnecting with your values and you've validated that it's what your market wants. And so you make money, and that's your proof right there. It's the only way to go.
That's right. Now, we invite you to join our community. We teach business starting tips and growth strategies in our free, regularly held workshop and our business incubator programs, as well as every single week inside the Empire of Unstoppable Women Facebook group. We are there to serve, we are there to empower, and we are there every week giving you the good, real, deep content and strategies you need to know to grow your business. So please join us there. And if you're loving this content, can you do us a favor? Let us know in the comments and give us a like and share it with a friend. And that way we can fulfill our mission to make the next half of life the best half of life.